We need to reconnect with the 18th century. We have lost so much. We have to reclaim it. A lot of people ask in a live stream, they say, if you had a chance to go back in a time machine, where would you go? What time? Who would you talk to? And it's a fun question. It's really hard for me to answer, though, because I feel like I get a chance to go back to the 18th century every day. We have access to the places of the 18th century, the sites that so much history happened in. And in some cases, the original buildings are there. And we can step inside them, or we have reproduction buildings, and we can go into those. Thousands of historic sites around the country. It is amazing. We also have access to not only the places of the 18th century, but artifacts. We can go to museums, we can study different pieces that have come down to us through the last 200 years. And in some cases, we can purchase parts of the 18th century, things that people made and they handled, they used. I can hold them in my hand today. We also, we want to talk to people in the 18th century. We want to know what they were thinking, right? Well, we have access to letters, hundreds of letters, thousands of letters. We've got books. We've got their very thoughts put down in words with as much fidelity as the people in the 18th century would have gotten. If you're writing to your friend, you're going to write him a letter in the 18th century. You're not going to call him up. We have that exact same letter that the friend had, right? We know what they're thinking as much as anybody else did in the 18th century, as much as we might know. And if words don't convey it, we've got art. We've got wonderful access to amazing art from the 18th century. Again, thoughts of the artists put down, and we so need them. We so need to access and get a hold of the good parts of the 18th century. Many people watch this channel, they enjoy it, and they don't know why. And I think a lot of it has to do with how disconnected we feel in this modern world. We have industrialized and outsourced so much of our lives that we don't feel connected to the world anymore. We've outsourced and disconnected from our food. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know who made it. We have to reclaim our food. We have been disconnected from our clothing. Most people don't sew their own clothing or have any idea who sews it, how they sew it, where it comes from, or why they choose the fashions they choose. We've disconnected ourselves and outsourced our homes, the very buildings we live in and spend all our time in. Are they really made for us today? Like they should be? Oh gosh. We have disconnected and outsourced our communication and our very relationships. That's probably the most important one. I think that's where really people feel so disconnected. They feel disconnected from this world. And we have to reclaim some of that hasn't happened yet in the 18th century. They haven't disconnected themselves in that same way. And we have to go back to the 18th century, look for the very best things to reclaim, to help understand and have a better life today. And of course, the 18th century is full of bad things too. We have to understand those, study them, so that we don't do those same errors again. And they're not going to get us exactly the same way today, but it'll be something similar, a twist on that. So if we don't understand that, we can't avoid those errors. And then there's many, many parts of 18th century life that we need to study so that we understand just how good we have it. We cannot go back to the 18th century. We cannot abandon modern life and go back to the 18th century. It's not possible. We want to bring along the very best parts of the 18th century into our lives today. That's what we do here on this channel. And I really want to invite you to continue to come along with us as we do that. There's so much to learn, and every day I learn something new, something amazing about the 18th century. I enjoy it so much. I enjoy bringing this to you. So thank you for all your amazing support, and continue to come along as we study the 18th century, learn about it, and bring the very best into our lives. Thanks for watching today.